What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be welding up the exhaust system for the F-100 project. We're also going to do some fuel lines. We got to do the ignition system, cooling system, and yeah, we should be good. But first we're going to weld up some exhaust pipes, just kind of like tack them in place. That way we can start the truck up. We'll final weld everything in nice once we make sure the truck's going to run and everything. Let's get started. Important part of starting up a fresh engine is to make sure that the oil pump is primed. So I've made a link of sockets and extensions here, tape them together. That's a super important part. That way you don't lose one down in the engine and then have to pull the whole thing out. But on a Y block, you want to go counterclockwise, check the oil pressure gauge, and see how much oil pressure you're getting. I put a inline fuel filter on there. I know they say you shouldn't double up filters, but really on an old tank and having all the debris flowing through, I would rather have the extra one just to make sure that nothing actually goes through the carburetor and ruins that. Put on the bypass fitting here. I had to make this myself just simply because I couldn't find it. Everything really is all good to go. Check for oil pressure. I was even getting oil up to the top of the valve train here, so good there. I had over 40 psi for oil pressure, so I think we're going to be perfectly fine there. Alternators wired up. I think that that's going to work. I cranked it over. The engine does crank over, so now really it's just plugs, throw the distributor in. It's just kind of sitting in there. But throw the distributor in, get all the plugs going, plug wires, make sure the firing order is correct because I'm used to working on Chevy. Also, I need to put in the radiator hoses, fill it up, and really it's good to go. I'm gonna call that good for today. I'll be back out here within the next few days, hopefully on this video, to get this thing started up and get it running right. It'll be first startup ever. Obviously when I got the truck, if you've been following the YouTube channel, it was absolutely horrible. You couldn't even turn it by hand. It was all corroded and disgusting. What's going on, guys? It's day 2 of the video, and we're going to be putting a coil in, working on the ignition system, getting the distributor put in, doing plugs and wires, and just getting this thing really buttoned up. I'm just trying to figure out a good place to mount this throttle return spring. I think I'm just going to use this manifold bolt. All right, next thing was the linkage that went from the pedal bracket here to the carburetor, and obviously I didn't have that, so I had to take my own piece of rod right here. I bent it up to where it could go on this side of the linkage on the carburetor and going through this side of the pedal. And I'm going to check really quick to make sure I have full pedal travel. Everything seems to be working right in this length, so I'm going to secure the ends here, that way it doesn't come off of the pedal. And yeah, that'll be good. All right, next up we're going to be throwing in these spark plugs. I think the gap on these is supposed to be 35 for the Y block. They're supposed to be pre-gapped to 35. Always double check because these are about 43. So I'm going to set these to 35 and we'll go from there. All right, got the distributor in here, and I've got my #1 spark plug wire. I'm just going to get the rest of these wired up to where they need to go, and we should be pretty freaking close. All right, super close. Got the plug wires done. Now I just have to put in the coil. I got to hook a little bit of wires up, and then it should be time to start this thing. And then the cooling system. We're going to need a day 3. In typical Jake Harrington fashion, I was double checking everything, and I broke the freaking stud for the valve cover. I was literally like 5 seconds away from turning the key over. Oh gosh. So now we just wait till day 3. All right, guys, day 3. Hopefully today is the day that we fire this thing up. Again, all I have to do is fix the valve cover stud back there, put the cooling system in, and then this thing is ready to go. So hopefully this thing will fire. We will find out here shortly. All right, got this stud fixed back here. Valve cover's back on. Now on to the next thing. All right, I'm gonna double check everything real quick, and then put the cooling system in, and then we're gonna be good to fire this thing up.
Tell me if you want me to turn it over.
Try it now. Try it now. Watch it and I'll crank it over here. I'm pretty sure it was spraying that out of the front cover of that carburetor.
Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so I didn't see that coming. We're gonna have to run this back again, and I will post a separate video of the truck actually running. It started up. That was one good thing. The gas started shooting out of the carburetor, so I'm just gonna get a new carburetor. It was kind of leaking out of the radiator, so we're going to order a new radiator tonight. Hopefully I get it before I leave for vacation on the 13th, but yes, it did start. The wiring's right. It actually sounded really good. We ran it for a very short time, but yeah, it sounds like everything's gonna be good, but I will see you guys on the next video.